Hi, I'm Peter Tragos, host of the Lawyer You Know podcast and YouTube channel. The saying goes, everyone hates lawyers until you need one. Well, I'm here when you need one to answer your questions and give you insight that you didn't know you needed. Along with my partners, Pete Sardis, the professor, who has a finance and business background, and George Tragos, my dad, and the consigliere, a criminal defense giant, we can answer any questions you have. What's up, everybody? Happy Friday to most of us, depending on where you live. Somebody sent me these 2 minutes of Camille discussing the appeal. So that's what we're going to look at today. I have no audio, so I assume you don't.
This is her first sit-down interview.
All right, can everybody hear it? All right, here we go.
Since Depp and Amber Heard filed motions to appeal in their legal battle. Now, last week, Heard notified a Virginia court that she will appeal the more than $10.3 million settlement she was ordered to pay her ex-husband. Depp's legal team also filed an appeal to overturn a single count of defamation decided in Heard's favor, ordering Depp to pay Amber Heard $2 million. Vasquez told us what prompted Depp's decision to appeal. Last week, we heard that Amber Heard was going to appeal the verdict. What did you think when you heard that? What was your reaction?
It was expected. I mean, she's indicated since the day she lost the trial that she was going to appeal.
Do you have to plan a strategy to respond to that?
Absolutely, and we did. Mr. Depp ended up filing his own appeal so that the...
So there's more than one strategy to this, right? As the trial lawyer, thinking about appeals. Appeal is on our mind the entire time. So I don't do appeals personally, but appeals are on our mind all the time. And I've actually forgot to talk about a trial. I meant to talk about it off the top. We'll talk about it at the end. Our firm just finished a trial on Thursday, Dave and Pete, and I'll tell you about it at the end of the video. But while we're trying cases, we always have an ear and an eye towards appeal. We protect the record. We make sure we make decisions that are not going to be major appellate issues for us, because there's no point in going and winning a big case just to know we're going to lose because we were shady or got some piece of evidence in that we know shouldn't have come in or we know is inadmissible. We don't want any of that. So that's a strategy for appeal. But she's also talking about how it's strategic for them to respond to the appeal. And obviously, if they would have just let it go and Amber would have let it go, then Johnny would have probably let it go because it was such a big win for him. But strategically, they didn't do that. Let's hear a little bit more about why.
Court could have the full record. And, she insists on continuing to litigate this matter.
So she's saying one of their strategies was they put in the pieces of the record they wanted to, but we want to make sure the court has the full record. So we strategically filed our counter appeal so we could give the court the full context. Interesting. That's a bit of a shot, because it's like, yeah, you just want to pick and choose. The court needs to know everything, because if they know everything like the jury did, the court's not stupid. They realize they only get parts of it. Usually they get the whole trial transcript if they need it for context. But it was a good point by Camille for sure.
We have to protect our client's interests.
Yeah, we've heard that it's not about the money. It's time for healing and time to move on, which was the message that he sent. But how do you heal and move on when both sides are still in court arguing?
It's pretty standard legal procedure. We just are hopeful that the court will uphold the verdict, which we think was the right verdict, and allow both parties to move on.
So is it safe to say that if she hadn't appealed, you all would not have appealed either? You would have moved on?
Yes.
Is that a fair statement?
That's a very fair statement.
So there it is. Officially, they would not, I mean, we kind of knew this, but officially they would not have filed an appeal had Amber Heard not. It's coming straight from the horse's mouth now. No representative saying it to the media. We got to see Camille say it with her mouth. And to me, I love it. That's sometimes what's so great about the internet, and what's great about this trial being videotaped is we got to see witnesses and clients and lawyers and judges say it with their mouths. We got to hear the jury give the verdict with their mouth, and nobody's spinning it, right? You can get legal commentary here or a million other lawyer channels or mainstream media or wherever you want, but hearing it from the horse's mouth, as they say, to me, I love it. And that makes it so much better and so much more clear that no doubt we know they would not have filed an appeal had Amber Heard not have filed an appeal.
Yeah, she said it's not a matter, because I said, it sounds a little tit for tat. She goes, nope, this is legal strategy. We reached out to Amber Heard and her legal team to speak with us about their appeal. They told us that they're not commenting at this time.
So Gail thought it was a little tit for tat. That's the thing is, and a lot of people thought, oh, I can't believe Amber Heard did this. A lot of it is legal strategy. And you've got to understand the process. And if you don't tit for tat, as Gail called it, you could be committing malpractice legally. People don't understand that sometimes. The rules require us to do things or our client waives rights. That's what we always talk about. Lawyers talk about protecting rights of clients. The real reason is a lot of people know certain rights. Like at this point, people know I don't have to talk to cops. But there are so many other rights people have that they waive left and right that they shouldn't waive. In fact, we were just asked to waive a right of one of our clients right before trial in a case. I'm like, why would we do that? That makes no sense. And of course we didn't. But if our client didn't know, then maybe they would have waived it because they don't want to make it seem tit for tat. That's an interesting distinction I didn't think about until right now.
We're going to have more from our interview with Camille Vasquez in our next hour, including the young team that they put together to win this case. It's very interesting to see because most of these people were under the age of 40, under the age of 35, actually. You know, Camille has gotten a lot of the attention, a lot of the spotlight because she was so what people call dazzling in courtroom. They said it's a textbook case how she handled herself. But she says it wasn't just me. We had a lot of people working behind the scenes. And I think you'll be surprised to see how young these people were and what they.
So that is kind of the clip we broke down at length yesterday. So if you want to check that out and see that longer video where we talk a lot about being a young lawyer, what that's like, check that out for sure. What running a law firm is like, and how some people don't understand how difficult it is and things like that. So I want to make sure if you want to check that out, that's on our channel. Let's get to some questions here specifically about this Camille Vasquez part. We are probably going to clip this out, make a shorter video, just breaking down that 2 minutes of the Camille Vasquez video because a lot of people kind of just want to see that, don't really care about the Markel case or about other things that we're talking about. So I am going to just answer a few questions on this Depp v. Heard case, and then we'll get to kind of the more broad Ask Me Anything for a few minutes. Teresa Bringus, since Waldman made the statements, how did Heard prove malice? That didn't come across to me. Your thoughts? I agree. I thought it was difficult on how she proved defamation through Johnny Depp, through Adam Waldman. And I've done videos breaking this down at length, but I don't think almost any evidence came out about what Depp knew, what he told Waldman, what Waldman knew from Depp, which is kind of how it had to be because of the attorney-client privilege, and so much was not answered. So to me, that was a very important distinction that I think Depp's team is absolutely going to pick apart and focus on through this appeal. Eleni Rowe, do you feel that Gail seemed biased? I did. I don't think she necessarily seemed biased. I mean, she did if she was going to be biased, she didn't have to mention the fact that they reached out to Amber Heard's team and they declined to comment. Because that to me, usually in the reporting world is they must have something to hide. Just like if somebody says you plead the fifth, they must be guilty. It's not true. And it doesn't mean you have anything to hide, but saying we reached out for comment and they said no is usually a negative inference to me. I could be wrong, but to me. Joe, how important is it for a client to really trust their lawyer? Because it seems like JD really trusted his lawyers. It is of the utmost importance. Don't pick a lawyer if you don't trust them. You have to trust your lawyer. You have to have that relationship. It's really the only way that it really works, in my opinion. Believe in yourself. Can the email from Waldman that May incident was staged and set up be used to reverse the judgment? I'm not sure which email you're talking about. I don't think an email came in. And if it didn't come in at trial, I don't think it's going to be used unless it was one of the parts of evidence that was on the record proffered that the judge denied. Let's see here. A lot of people coming in late. Don't worry, you can rewatch and you haven't missed the general Ask Me Anything question portion. That's a lot of people's favorite at the end and is one of my favorite parts. Gail seems biased without much knowledge of the trial. Let's see what else we got. Gail seems to have little knowledge. There was a lot of shots at Gail. I thought it was whatever. I thought it was fine with me. It didn't bother me. I mean, it wasn't any worse than I think other people interviewing. Janelle, what happens if appeal is denied, but Johnny Depp's is approved? What happens after an appeal? So if Johnny wins, they can retry just his case, just her counterclaim, basically. Or they can come to some kind of settlement, right? Where he still allow, even though he won the appeal, if she'll pay the $8 million, he'll take the $8 million, the 10 minus 2. I'm just using general numbers at this point. So anything can happen, really. It feels like, anything can happen. You could settle the case. They can retry just his. They don't have to have the same answer on both appeals. They don't have to both be denied or both be granted. All right. Seems like that is most of the Johnny Depp questions here. If you guys are part of the rewatch crew on just this Camille Vasquez clip, let me know what you thought. If you find other clips of the interview that I haven't reacted to yet, find me on Instagram or Twitter here at Tragos Law and send them to me there, and follow us on Instagram because we do a lot of fun stuff on there. So thanks for joining us to talk about that little clip of the Camille Vasquez interview with CBS.